Greetings, and welcome to Discussions. I am your host for Discussions, James Piranha Madonna of Mega Life 21, the hardest hitting internet talk radio station on the planet, and I am here live at the newsletter Uncensored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey with my co-host and mentor, the one and only, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. How are you today, sir?
Fine, excellent.
Another week has flown by fast. It happens to be Saturday,
Too fast. Too fast.
Too fast.
Getting older.
Time and tide waits for no man. It is Saturday, June 25th, 2011, and I'm here with me trusted imported Blackthorn Irish Shillelagh, imported from Ireland, ready to crack conservative Republican artists right over the noggin, over the coconut. I mean, hopefully. And I just want to say that it's probably, I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's probably a waste of time for you fellow New Jerseyites to attend Balloon Boy, the political bully, Balloon Boy Crisco Christie's stupid town hall meetings, because if you disagree with him in any way, shape, or form, he will rudely interrupt you and try to shout you down
and mock you.
So you do not get your point across. So actually the town hall meeting is all about him and him alone and his agenda, his greedy, corporate, elitist, prioritized, money-grubbing, stingy agenda. And I heard he was trying to justify his use of taxpayers' money for the helicopter, you know, for his own personal use. And he always has an excuse, no matter what. But has there been any new Balloon Boy news? Really? You know, there's always something with Chris Christie, man. Every week it doesn't fail. But I want to show you something. Speaking of Republicans, speaking of right-wing conservative Republicans and people like the windbag Chris Christie, among others, I want to show you something interesting here. All right? Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Now, let me put on me reading glasses. And let me take a look at this. Because I don't have anything. I don't have any monologue per se, you know. Camera person, by the way, is everything okay? Does everything seem okay? You got your glasses on, camera person? Am I there? More or less? Less or more?
More or less.
You can see me, right? My head, top of my head is shown with my new haircut.
Left shoulder, you know, no, the other guy. Yeah, the other guy. He's not all the way in, but
okay, but I'm close. I'm close to Billy Jr. over here. The
oh yeah, that's okay.
The fine watercolor self-portrait painting of the my mentor and co-host, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. I just want to make sure that I'm A-okay, because this is important stuff I'm going to show you. All right,
you have to get close for that.
Yeah, I know.
Because they can't see it.
Now, this seems to be a turn-of-the-century painting that was done way back when. There's information on the bottom. Oh, 1911. Oh, copyrighted 1911 by the... Gee, could they make this print any smaller?
They could.
Maybe you can make it up. Well, all right. It's called subscribe for. It's. You know what? Let me get this magnifying glass. Let me get this magnifying. Excuse me, people. Bear with me. Bear with me. This font is really tiny. Really tiny. Okay, copyrighted 1911 by the International Publishing Company. And then it says here, I think it says 1743 W. West 25th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, in the United States of America. All right, and here it says, subscribe for the industrial worker. Foremost, I don't know, something about a revolution. Industrial unionism, published in the English language, $1 per year, 3 months, 25 cents.
Wow.
Man, subscriptions were cheap back then, huh? 1911. And then it has an address, Post Office Box 2129, Spokane, Washington. It probably doesn't exist anymore. But it says subscribe for the industrial worker. And here we go. It is called the Pyramid of the Capitalist System. Now, this picture is on the Megalife 21 Facebook profile. If you want to see it in living color, and you want to see it big and bold and clear. But anyway, that's a printout, and it's very well done, and it's very clever, and unfortunately, it is still applicable to today. Okay, the pyramid of the capitalist system, and I will read the levels, the tiers. On the bottom, it says here, we feed all, whatever. Then.
Wait a minute, you'll go from the top down.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, top down. The top down would be a big bag, a big sack of moolah with dollar signs on it called capitalism. Capitalism is way at the top. Money. The second level down, it says, we rule you. And it has a bunch of elitists, aristocracy, right under that. We rule you. And below them, it says, we fool you. And one of them is a religious leader holding up a cross.
Probably politicians and the religious leaders.
Yeah, see,
and,
the third level
leaders.
down. The third level down. We fool you. Sounds like the conservative Tea Party Republicans, how they fooled the middle class last November. Okay, the fourth level down has the military. It says, we shoot at you.
Yeah,
we shoot them. We shoot them.
You go along with it.
Huh?
If you don't go along with it, because at that time and before, of course, the military and Pinkertons and all were called out against Union people. The people who were striking.
We shoot at you. You know what's funny?
They killed them.
You know what's funny? We shoot at you. The elitists pay these military cronies to rough you up, but they don't pay them much, by the way. When you're in the military, you get shit pay. Like working for retail, or industrial work. Anyway, they shoot at you, but the personnel in the military that are attacking the good innocent people that want a better life, aren't they usually from lower income to poor to middle class families?
Yeah.
The personnel that are getting shit pay from the government that are roughing you up for standing up for what's right. Isn't that funny how that works? So they're like selling you out for a little bit of money, and they should be declaring mutiny on the system that employs them.
That's like what the Republicans do today with the people from Kansas.
Yeah.
The people that vote against their own interests.
Yeah. So fourth level down, we shoot at you, the military. Now, the fifth level down, it says, we eat for you. And it has a bunch of spoiled, rich, elitist, hoity-toity people sitting at a big dining room table with a feast in front of them.
Big
Banquet, drinking and eating it up and having a good old time. We eat for you. And then on the very bottom, all the suckers are holding up the entire pyramid. I imagine this is mainstream masses.
Working mass.
The working mass. We feed all. We work for all on the left side, and on the right side it says we feed all. And some people are laying down like they collapsed. And
they're dead.
And obviously they're the workers. One guy's holding a shovel, and the rest of them are holding up the whole damn pyramid.
Yeah.
We work for all, we feed all. The pyramid of the capitalist system. And there you go. You could see this on the Megalife 21 Facebook profile. which is simply www.facebook.com/MegaLife21. Very applicable to today, unfortunately, even though it's an oldie but a goodie. Here. Just, and I don't need the magnifying glass anymore, but neither do I need this. But anyway, before we begin with the reading of current news articles that are applicable to our organization, usually the 5 taboos of American life, just politics, religion, health, human sexuality, child rearing, plus other articles of interest. It could be science, it could be environmental, it could be nature. I just want to tell everyone that I do not have any tea. Since it is barbecue season, it is summer, the lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer. I just want to talk about my favorite beer. Yuengling from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, America's oldest brewery. The only handcrafted, high-quality microbrewed beer that is low cost, actually lower in cost than the popular garbage beer out there like your Budweiser and your Coors and your Miller. Budweiser calls himself the king of beers. Well, they're the king probably because they spend so much money on advertisement, and that's all mainstream America sees is Budweiser and Michelob and Coors and Miller advertisements, and Budweiser probably sponsors a lot. But this right here,
how many ounces?
Yuengling is like, you've heard of Samuel Adams, right? Okay, a great, fantastic, high-quality microbrewed beer, but it's expensive. This is actually cheaper than your king of beers. This is like under $6 for 6 of them. Yuengling. Check them out online. How many ounces?
Yeah.
I gotta put my reading
It doesn't
glasses
look
on.
like 8. It's probably 8, but it doesn't look like it. Tastes like draft?
Oh no, it's a lager.
It's a lager?
It's a heavy lager. Hold on. It's a heavy lager. Yuengling. That's a capital Yuengling. America's oldest brewery. Traditional lager, amber beer since 1829. America's oldest brewery. It is 12 ounces.
12 ounces. My God.
I'm sorry, did I say Pottstown?
Pottstown.
Pottsville.
Pottsville.
I'm sorry, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. And they are online. The original Yuengling, in my opinion, the very best value in beer in the United States today. High quality, handcrafted microbrewed beer for less money than Budweiser and Coors and Miller. Okay, and it is a good, dark, strong, old world style cerveza, old world style beer. Very high quality. It's a great lager. James Piranha Madonna's favorite. Low cost and high quality. Get it. Yuengling Brewery. Begin, sir. You're very good with smoked sausage, bratwurst, or German bratwurst, or kielbasa.
Don't forget to contact them and tell them you've done a commercial for them.
Yeah, for free. I'll send them the video. And the jabronis, hopefully, they'll give me a thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Big deal.
You know what I like? You know what'd be cool? I wonder what Yuengling does with all the healthy, nutritious brewer's yeast from those big tanks. I wonder if they realize what a powerhouse...
They sell it to a
I don't know what they do.
Vitamin company.
A powerhouse of nutrition. I don't know what these companies do with their yeast after the fermentation process is over, after the yeast dies. I don't even know if they know how nutritious brewer's yeast is. I'll find out. I'll let them know.
Good idea.
Maybe they sell it in bulk at a discount. Begin.
It's great. It's morning rush hour at the Greater New Brunswick Daycare Center. It's Daycare Council.
Did you say gay care?
Daycare.
Oh, day is a day.
Council. And the sidewalk is crowded with parents cradling sleeping babies and leading bleary-eyed kids into a converted church basement that has been the center's home for 41 years.
Bleary-eyed? I'll be bleary-eyed if I have enough of these yinlings.
After dropping off her 6-year-old son, Shakira Moore, 36, stopped to chat with the center's director, David Harris, before heading to work at a homeless shelter.
Oh, crap.
I would be lost without this place, she said. They are like the grandparents you need when you are off working. But Harris said he and other operators of government-subsidized daycare centers and preschools would find it harder to keep their programs running under Governor Fatso Christie's proposed budget, which would slash their funding by $30 million.
There we go.
He said that would prompt higher across-the-board copays and rates and stricter requirements for parents to prove they are working.
Nice guy.
A problem for illegal immigrants who are paid off the books. We all recognize the fiscal condition of the state, Harris said. But this part of the safety net is so important. We are destabilizing these institutions that are keeping children whole and giving them a good start. Advocates for the poor say Christie's proposed $29.6 billion budget hits hardest at those who can least afford it. They worry their concerns are getting lost as Trenton is consumed by the fierce debate over worker benefits, and lawmakers now scramble to get a spending plan in place by the end of next week. Overall, there's an attack on working poor families. And when you combine everything, they are getting hit from all angles. Christie administration officials, however, say tough budget times required cuts across the board.
Yeah, what about him and his elitist rich friends?
That's okay.
That's all right. Sacrifice is not for them, right?
That's correct. And some moves are designed to preserve programs for the poor. State Human Services Commissioner Jennifer Velez told lawmakers the Medicaid cuts and changes present an opportunity for the state to sustain the safety net by preserving and improving the delivery services for the most at-risk populations.
Medicaid cuts? It's crap to begin with.
No kidding.
They don't pay. They give a doctor, I think they give a chiropractor like $5 or $10 per visit. It's despicable.
And the chiropractor only charges $25.
No, the chiropractors want like $60 a visit.
$60?
Yeah, they're getting.
I know one that car charges only $25.
They're getting greedy like medical doctors.
Oh my God.
They suck. The whole American healthcare system
yes.
sucks. I was interviewing somebody who has charity care in the state of Delaware, and of course, if you apply for charity care and get it, that means you're a low-income person. Well, guess what? Because the doctor for bronchitis recommended a chest X-ray, she got a bill of $500 with the discount, with the charity care card. What the hell? What kind of shit is that? Somebody else has to pay $1,000 for a 10-minute drive for the paramedics in the ambulance with the charity care won't pay for that. So what good are these government programs for the poor like charity care and Medicaid if they don't pay the bill? Or is the upper administrative is the CEO of the hospitals trying to milk extra profit out of poor people? What do you think is happening?
I think they want poor people to die. It's as simple as that.
You think it's half the government and half the hospital CEO?
You don't have to assign the action to anyone in specifically. It is a policy to kill the poor. Period.
So who comes up with this idea to offer charity care and Medicaid and then send you a bill for several $100 as a poor person? Who invents this?
The particular institution that you're dealing with, such as the hospital or whatever.
Like, let's say Hackensack.
But the point is,
I want to bring it up.
Yeah.
the hospital that was rated supposedly the #1 hospital in the Northeast, Hackensack University Medical Center. They are not shy when it comes to sending poor people a big bill. Okay.
Well, the point is, they're not. It's obvious that their agenda is something else, because any person whose brain is not tied behind his back,
Yeah.
understands that a poor person's problem is he's poor. He has no money.
He has no moolah. He ain't got no. He's po folk.
So if you're asking the poor for money, then something's wrong with you.
Well, then they got to declare. They have to send probably a cease and desist letter. Properly done, of course. If they don't. That's another thing. Legal aid only helps poor people go bankrupt if they owe $10,000 or more.
That's because their budgets have been cut.
Probably by Balloon Boy.
Yeah, in New Jersey, yes.
Balloon Boy cuts everything if you're not rich, if you're not an elitist.
Well, they don't believe. You see, they don't believe that there are actual poor people in the United States, because the one politician said that all our poor people are fat, which was an indication that all our poor people are well fed. Or they come out with, oh, well, our people have a television.
I'll tell you why so many poor people, like let's say people living in the inner city, the ghetto, whatever, there's a high prevalence of obesity, because they can only afford cheap garbage in the supermarket. And cheap garbage, the cheapest food, which is garbage, which is toxic, happens to be high in refined carbohydrates, which is white flour and white sugar. That is the reason why poor people are heavy, not because they're well nourished.
Yeah.
You know, in the case of Chris Christie, he's on a seafood diet. He sees food and he eats it.
Yeah.
So I think,
and then closes food pantry.
yeah, I think Chris Christie would try to pass a law to make cannibalism legal in the United States, so he can barbecue the poor and the homeless, and with a big apple in their mouth and on a rotisserie,
well,
and he will eat them.
That's my point entirely. That's exactly what they are doing. They are cannibalizing the poor by getting rid of them.
In other words,
reading
is that also the reason why on the one Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory episode they found a chemical in bottled drinking water that makes people sterile?
Well, yes.
They don't want us little guys to reproduce.
There were plans, especially in southern states, that they wanted to sterilize poor women so that they could not reproduce.
In southern states.
In southern states.
Where they don't have, where the average income is much lower.
It's garbage anyway.
Right.
No,
Wasn't that the gripe of the South during the Confederacy, before the Civil War? That the North did not provide any industry, the South was poor?
North was an industrialized section. The South ran on slave.
Well, that
Their economy was slave.
Plantations, farming.
Plantations, yeah.
But anyway.
And there was no cost to that, except the maintaining of the slave.
Excuse me. Hey, if Howard Stern can burp, so can I.
You know?
Anyway, it's a natural function. Yinling, quality beer. Go ahead.
Lawmakers drafting the budget say they are pushing for some changes. Assemblyman Lou Greenwald, a Democrat of Camden, chairman of the Budget Committee, said his party will try to restore the cuts that provide access to health care for women, children, and the most vulnerable in our society, and property tax rebates for seniors. Sources said Democratic lawmakers will propose jump-starting the Senior Freeze program cut by Christie last year. That provides property tax relief to seniors, including those surviving on little income. My experience with the Senior Freeze program is that it's garbage. The Homestead Rebate program is much more effective. Assemblyman Declan O'Scanlan, a
Oh, jeez. What a
Republican
name.
of Monmouth,
Monmouth County, New Jersey.
a budget committee member, said Republicans have expressed interest in eliminating rate cuts at nursing homes and a proposed co-payment for adult medical daycare services.
As though they're not high enough. They're not ripping people off enough at these homes.
Listen to this quote.
What's his name? Scam man?
O'Scanlan.
Scanlon? Not scam as in scam
Well,
artist.
here comes his scam. Quote, "We are not devoid of compassion," unquote. "We have compassion for everyone collectively,
Sure.
including the taxpayers." Uh-oh. That's code for no taxes on the rich.
No taxes on the rich, the elitists, the fat cats. Total selfishness, greed, the devil's economics rears its ugly head again.
One of the more controversial proposals would sharply change how Medicaid would continue to serve 1.3 million low-income and disabled people who rely on it for health care, housing, and other services. The plan would move about 200,000 people, many chronically ill and disabled, from a more expensive pay-as-you-go plan into an HMO starting July, saving up to $40 million. Now, you know why HMOs save money?
Why?
Because the people in them do not get the proper care. They cut costs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's like going to a dollar store and expecting to get the highest quality merchandise
Yeah.
for $1, and then you have an HMO versus a PPO, which is a step up, right? It's supposed to be better.
You know,
Yeah. You don't need to go to your primary care physician to get a referral to see a specialist. I think with a PPO you can go directly, as long as they're in network, you
Well,
can go directly to make appointment with the specialist.
you know,
I
all
think.
of this stuff is a bunch of baloney, all of it. We need in this country, like the other industrialized nations of the world, a single payer plan. Medicare for all.
Yeah.
Free.
You take Medicare.
Government.
You take Medicare, you modify it, you make it like the European and Canadian healthcare system, you modify the Medicare, and you, guess what, big balloon boy, dirigible, Christie, dirigible, you tax the rich like in the old days. You make them pay for it, make the fat cats pay for it. Original
Look, the
FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, 91% tax rate on the rich. You make the rich pay for it. They can afford to pay for it. If they don't like it, leave the fucking country. That's it. Leave the country. Don't let the door hit you in the ass, elitists. But you know what? It won't happen because why? The people you elect in Washington, including the Democrats, are all in bed
well, they're elites.
with the fat cats. They're all business people. Well, look at Obama. He totally put Obamacare and taxing the rich and everything on the back burner. Actually, it's so far on the back burner, you can't even see it.
Yeah.
He totally put
Last
campaign
night,
promises.
last week about the older gentleman who had health issues, and he went in and robbed a bank of $1, and then went and sat and waited for the police to pick him up and take him to jail because
He's making a point, right?
yes, he was making a point because he has no health insurance and he had no way of treating his health problems.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go to jail where it was free.
Well, tragically, recently, this man, I think it was in Long Island, New York, his wife was a heroin addict or something, and she kept on nagging him, oh, I need my pills, I need my pills. What happened was the guy got laid off. He had a well-established, supposedly secure job with a company, and like my uncle says, Oh, get it. What you need to do is you need to get a job with a big blue chip company and work hard for them and devote yourself for them, and they will take care of you till you retire. He's still living in Beaver Cleaver days, in 1950s. Okay, anyway, the guy, his wife was on his ass about her friggin' heroin so badly, and the guy got laid off and he lost everything. He had no income, he had no health insurance, he had nothing. And his wife is spazzing out, I need my pills, I need my pills, I need my pills. The guy goes into a pharmacy to hold it up. Something went wrong and he ends up shooting several people dead.
4.
4 people, was it? 4 people dead in the pharmacy. First of all, if you have a wife like that, you need to put her in some rehab center and she needs help. You don't have her stay home and feed her habit. You call the cops, you call the authorities, and you put her in the proper place to dry out for help, for her drug habit. That's what you do. And you don't go and rob a damn pharmacy. But anyway, this is an example. I was discussing this with the Renaissance man Can Create. This is what is to come when more and more people, multitudes of people, the masses, are desperate. They have no jobs, they have no health insurance, they run out of unemployment, they get their homes foreclosed, they end up living in tents, so on and so forth, and they get desperate. Mm-hmm. And they get desperate and they get irate, and they start getting pissed, and they start going off. Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe, you know what, elitists? What you going to do, I don't want to sound like Hulk Hogan, but what you going to do when hundreds of thousands of desperate people form a militia and come after you and try to get what you got, Balloon Boy? What you going to do? I hope you can hire enough well-trained security people to fend off, hundreds of thousands of very angry, desperate people. I hope you can do it. We'll see.
They will also be limiting who can enroll in Medicaid.
Devil's economics. Yeah.
A family of 3 would be disqualified if it earned more than $5,300 a year instead of the current $26,400.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
$5,300 a year. You need Medicaid.
Yeah, you got. I think if you make more than $800 per month, you're too wealthy for a Medicaid card.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, big deal! Like a Medicaid card is so great to have. Oh,
and
nobody accepts it.
That measure there would only save the state $32.5 million.
Uh-huh.
That's all it would save.
Big deal.
But look at all the people it hurts.
Right.
All you need to do is add a little bit to the taxes of the rich, and you got it covered.
Very good articles, sir, that you have this week for discussions. I want to commend you.
An estimated 93,000 people would be denied coverage.
Ah.
Ray Castro, a policy analyst for the liberal New Jersey Policy Perspective, said...
He must be a nice guy, then.
The Medicaid cuts signal this is not just a budget issue, but a philosophical difference our state has never seen before. See? See? He noted the Medicaid program expanded in the late 1990s to include more working poor, as state and federal welfare reform laws required people to work in order to get benefits. Now we are cutting supports of working people. So there's really nothing left. The system for working families is really disappearing. And I thought all the governors and Obama down, etc., federal, were trying to create jobs. This is getting rid of jobs. How do I explain that? Ooh.
How do you explain it? How do you explain it? Lucy,
how do you explain this?
How do you explain this? Interesting. It's interesting how the Democrats, who are supposed to be on our side, supporting the little guy, are in bed with the fat cats and the corporate elitists and the Republicans, the conservatives. They all have gone into bed with the fat cat elitists and the corporations. They are all business people. They are all in favor, apparently and obviously, of the new corporate plutocracy, the feudalistic oligarch, the devil's economics.
And who ever brings up the question, why is it a problem to ask those people who have for the last 30 years not paid their fair share of taxes to pay it now? What's the problem here?
What is the problem?
Anyway,
getting back to
a 6-week-old baby in South Carolina died after she received lethal doses of the painkiller morphine.
What?
Through her mother's breast milk.
Oh, and why? What did the mother's doctor say about this, breastfeeding her child?
Stephanie Green, 37, was charged with homicide.
Okay.
By child abuse after a 7-month investigation that began when her daughter Alexis was found dead in her bed in her Campobello home.
Well, did the doctor tell the mother not to breastfeed the child? Could be a lawsuit here too.
Authorities say the painkiller got into Green's breast milk after she took pills and used patches containing morphine constantly since the child's birth.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a doctor involved, that obviously.
Old James Piranha Madonna doesn't miss a trick
to give those prescriptions. Food and Drug Administration. Officials say doctors should use lower doses of anemia drugs when treating patients with failing kidneys due to the increased risk of stroke, blood clots, and death.
And anemia drugs. What happened to old-fashioned desiccated liver and iron that doesn't have side effects?
Organ.
What happened to that?
Yeah, organ.
And good optimal B complex.
The new warnings announced Friday are the
C.
latest to hit widely used medications since 2007, when the Food and Drug Administration first linked them to fatal side effects. Oh, what, that's like going on 4 years? They've allowed them to continue being used when they found out that they were linked to such side effects. That's the Food and Drug Administration at its best. The medicines Procrit, Aranesp, and Epogen.
Oh man, I've seen this advertised on TV. Procrit.
Here's the answer.
Yeah, Procrit, my ass.
Here's the answer.
Here's the answer.
Are multi-billion-dollar sellers.
You heard it from the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. Multi-billion-dollar sellers. There's your free market, conservative, Republican capitalism for you.
Because of their ability...
At your expense, by the way.
At your death.
At your death, mainstream America. Keep on voting Republican. Keep on doing it, jerks.
Because of their ability to boost oxygen-carrying red blood cells, reducing need for painful blood transfusions. But a study published in 2009 suggested they could double the risk of stroke. Doctors had previously assumed that higher doses would help prevent heart attack, stroke, and other cardiovascular problems. All three of the drugs are manufactured by biotech giant Amgen Inc., while Procrit is sold by Johnson & Johnson, a family company.
Yeah, they call them Johnson & Johnson because they stick their big Johnson up your ass with no lubrication.
Doctors must adjust each patient's dosing to maintain healthy levels of hemoglobin, a component of blood that carries oxygen and helps keep anemia patients active.
Yeah.
Anemia causes weakness and shortness of breath and is a side effect of chemotherapy and kidney failure. FDA's announcements applies to patients with early stage kidney failure as well as those on dialysis, the treatment for late stage kidney failure. The old labeling for the drugs recommended keeping patients' hemoglobin levels between 10 grams and 12 grams per deciliter.
Mm-hmm.
The new label does away with that specific target range, stating only that doctors should begin using the drugs if patients' hemoglobins fall below 10 grams per liter. Okay.
Very good. Now it's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's take the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's lunch break, which comes before his high tea, by the way. First comes his lunch, then comes his high tea, but that's later. Let's take a break, and then as you're eating lunch, as you're partaking in your gastronomic delights, I will do promo like I normally do, and then after promo, I will open up another high-quality lager beer, micro-brewed Yinling, the oldest brewery in the United States, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Check them out online. Low cost, high quality, micro-brew at a low price.